Hi there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and to ring the bell to be notified of my weekly videos so you don't miss out. So Coco came up with a great idea of me doing a Q&A. I've actually got quite a lot of questions, so I'm going to rattle them off pretty quickly, otherwise we're going to be here for a long time. But I will go into more details on specific things in certain blog posts in the future. So how do you use soft rollers to give your hair lift? I've done a YouTube video, it's about a year ago, but this is from Nikki Clark. I absolutely love it. And then I've got Velcro rollers that I keep in here. And yeah, but watch the YouTube video for the specifics. How do you get blood out of white bed sheets? So tackle it immediately. As soon as you are aware of the blood, soak it in cold water. It's got to be cold water. Leave it there for a good couple of hours, even all day. Swish it around occasionally, but that is the best thing to do. If it's been in there for a while and it's been through the washing machine and you've treated it with other things and it hasn't come out, I suggest you put a cupful of bleach in a washing up bowl and soak. Either you can just soak the certain area or you can put the whole thing in, but I would soak it in bleach for a couple of hours and that should help. What is the art of politely declining an invitation? So you would write, email or phone call and say, thank you so much for thinking of us and inviting us. Unfortunately, we're not able to come. Obviously, if you're over the phone, that you could be drawn into a conversation. So probably just send an email or write a note just saying, thank you so much, but unfortunately, this time we can't join you. Is Si short for Simon? Yes, it is. Si's become his Instagram name, and actually sometimes the children jokingly call him it too. What are your favourite clothes shops? You have beautiful tops, shirts and cardigans, thank you. This is from Zara. I'm a massive fan of Zara. I'm a massive fan of the High Street. I love H&M. I love J. Crew, really love J. Crew. But I do buy a lot of pre-loved clothes. I've got a great friend, Juliana Heel, and I buy a lot from her. There's also a great shop in Petworth that does pre-loved designer things, and I get a lot of things from there. I don't have loads of money to spend on clothes, so I think pre-loved is actually the way forward. But I don't change every season, you know, and do all of that. It's not an option. And I do have some firm favourites that are years old, which I bring out year on year. Cardigans. Love cashmere cardies. You can find them in second-hand shops. Jo's Vintage Cashmere is incredible, and I bought all my winter polo necks from her pretty much. But M&S does great cashmere too, and I probably buy a piece every year from them, and it lasts pretty well as well. I'm intrigued as to the Penny Lane sign above your Aga. So our little miniature wirehead Daxi is called Penny, and she's Lady Penelope from the Thunderbirds, to be precise. But I love the Beatles. I love the song Penny Lane. We'd only had her for a couple of months when I saw the sign in sort of antique-y junkie shop kind of thing, and I had to buy it, so I was actually quite cross, but I love it. Do you keep your ponies at home, and what facilities do you have for them? Yes, we do. We are really lucky. We bought the house and it had a full-size sand school and stables and paddocks. We've got 6 acres. It is Sussex clay, so it gets really horribly wet in the winter, which is not ideal, but the sand school's brilliant. We've got 4 stables and a hay barn. We've got some brilliant hacking. So we're in an area of outstanding national beauty and a national park, which is amazing. And we've also got Coomlands Equestrian, I think it's called Coomlands Equestrian Centre, literally just up here behind us. And there's show jumping all the time, and there's cross-country course and all sorts of things going on. So we're super lucky to have that. When did you start riding? Why did you stop? And what made you come back? So this and the next question are slightly linked, and it's quite long-winded, so I should be as quick as I can. I started riding when I was 3. Absolutely loved it. It was my passion. I just adored it. But I had a lot of weird aches and pains and things going on with my body. And when I was 12, I had a lot of back problems. By the time I was 14, I was told I had to stop all sport and riding. I was absolutely devastated, and a friend of mum said, why don't you try Charlie riding side saddle? And I did. When you're side saddle, your pelvis is closed. When you're astride, it's open. So when you're side saddle, you use your core stomach muscles as opposed to your lower back. And that worked really well for me. So I did loads and loads of side saddle, but I didn't do any other sport. So just riding. Then when I moved up to London in my early 20s, I didn't have a horse anymore, but there was a horse down in Devon where mum lived that I would ride side saddle whenever I went home and hunt down there. And then when Si and I got married, I had horses here, but I was again always riding side saddle. I had the children. And then my lovely, lovely old mare who I had on loan from a girlfriend, and she was with us for years, and she was just incredible. We had to retire her. She was going blind, and yeah, she was too old. She was 26. And trying new horses to buy, the first one I shattered my shoulder blade. It was the first time I'd ever fallen off side saddle. It was horrific. I was in a sling for 16 weeks. The next horse I tried, I ended up with 2 prolapse discs. We bought him, he mucked up my back really badly, and then he went really lame. So that was a disaster. I had steroid injections and nearly had to have an operation on my back, but luckily I didn't. 6 months after that, I tried another horse, and in fact, my side saddle didn't fit. So I decided, stupidly, I was going to try it astride. He bucked. I didn't have the strength in my legs to hold on, and I came off. And I shattered my tibial plateau, which is the bottom part of my knee, and my ankle. The children all saw it. It was hideous. I was in hospital for a good couple of weeks because the disc in my back went when they operated. And it was a really, really, really long haul. I had 3 operations in that year, and I was in and out of a wheelchair. I had bed rest with my leg above my heart for, I think, about 4 months. It was hideous. I didn't think I would ever ride again, but I ended up getting really fit, really strong, which is why I do my workouts, and it has totally changed my life. And now I can ride. So long story, sorry, but yeah. The next question, which is linked to this, I see you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. My daughter has the same. Is it something you knew about from an early age? So Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I have type 2, which is extreme hypermobility. It also affects the collagen in my body. Somebody described it to me as like walking on jelly. You have a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, and it is physically hard work. But I've had it all my life, so I know no different. I was diagnosed in my early 20s with full-on osteoporosis as well, because when I was told to stop riding and stop playing sport, critical time for building bone mass, forming your bone mass, and so that has had a massive effect on my life. But since breaking my leg and all of that, I have discovered exercise, and I live a pain-free life. I had to build it up really slowly. I started with Pilates, and now I do full-on, hardcore workouts. There isn't anything I can't do anymore, and I don't have any pain, which is super, super exciting. The 3 children have all got it. I'm aware of it, and I do a lot of strength and conditioning with them. I've worked with a physio in the past, but now I know what they need to be doing, so we're keeping a close eye on that. What is your go-to comfort food? Chocolate, I absolutely love it. Chocolate hobnobs too, love crisps. Slightly partial to sweet, luckily, because I do so much exercise and I'm really, really active. I can eat all of these things. Also, what's your favourite meal to make when you're entertaining? So when I'm entertaining, and actually I've written and I do demos here on dinner party courses, because I think when you're entertaining, you want it to be simple and something easy that you are not spending too much time away from your guests. So in the winter, it would be something like beef bourguignon. In the summer, I might do some lamb cutlets. I love black cod, and Si being in the fish business, that is just perfect. So yeah, something that can be done in advance, and I kind of carefully plan the menu that I'm not tied to the kitchen too much. How do you manage to get all the household chores done. Get messy in the garden with animals and yet look so good. Bless you. I don't. I often look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. I often don't have time to put makeup on. But when I'm doing Ask Charlie things, I do try and make a bit of an effort, but I often look a real state. Next question. I wanted to ask you how old your children are. Did you always know you wanted 3, and are they boys or girls? So Archie is 11, he'll be 12 in September. Coco is 10 and Gus is 9 in a few weeks. I actually had fertility problems. So I was quite a lot older than me, so he was keen to get cracking, and the fertility treatment wasn't working. It was really stressful actually, and we were newly married. Somebody said try acupuncture, and it worked, and Archie was conceived, which was just a complete miracle. Everybody in my consultants, everyone thought it was a complete miracle. Coco, I found out I was 12 weeks pregnant with her, and Archie was quite young. It was quite a shock, but a wonderful one. And I think for the journey that we had been on to have Arch, I didn't know if I'd be able to have any more children, so it was just the most wonderful news. And then Gussie, we just were umming and ahhing about whether we'd have a third. We decided not to use any form of contraception or anything in case it caused problems, down the line and affected things. So yeah, he was a wonderful surprise. I did not plan to have them so close together. 3 children in 2.5 years was just exhausting, and I think I wasn't physically fit then either, and Ehlers-Danlos does affect your pregnancies. So it was tough, actually. It was really tough, but amazing, and I'm so pleased we did it. Also, I think if we'd waited, I was in my late 20s. I was 28, 29, 30 when they were born, and actually I think by mid-30s I would have really struggled to have had children. So my advice to anybody is don't wait, don't think you've got time to make a decision, because I certainly didn't. So I feel really, really blessed that we've got our 3 wonderful children. So yeah, the next one is, you seem super focused on exercise, family, home. What are your top 3 tips for fellow mums and homemakers? My thing that I think of every day, which Mum used to say, is never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. So that is always in the back of my mind. I think because I exercise and I just get up and do that at 6 every morning, that is my thing, and that gives me the energy to get through the day. I think being organised. So never put off till tomorrow what you can do. Be organised, plan your day as much as you possibly can, and plan meals. Those are my 3 top tips. Your idea on a special thoughtful teacher gift. So we at school put £20 in actually a PayPal pool at the beginning of each academic year. So it's done, and that covers winter term, spring term and summer term. And then the form rep chooses or chat to other people, maybe even ask the teacher what they want. So they're not getting lots of things that they don't want, they're getting something lovely. So we've done theatre vouchers, Virgin do amazing experience days, so a boat trip up the Thames with a meal out, things like that. But I do make Florentines or mince pies to give them at Christmas. I might give them a jar of marmalade or whatever in the spring term, and then make them something at the end of the summer term, and I get the children to make things. So I don't, we as a school do one big present, and I think actually that works really well. Is Coco's full name Coco? Yes, it is. So my pregnancy with Coco was so different to Archie. We didn't know what we were having. They were all surprises, but I just had an inkling that it was a girl. We couldn't decide on names because all the names that we liked, we didn't like the shortened version or vice versa. She was born on the 11th of February, and I remember it so clearly. It was the 1st of January, and it's a really long story, so I'm going to be quick. We had a nursery chair that was reupholstered, and it was delivered to the wrong person by accident before Christmas, and I couldn't quite work out where it was and what was happening. Anyway, I got this phone call on New Year's Day to say, I've got your nursery chair. And it was a lady that lived quite close by. So I went to pick it up and he called me. I thought, why is he calling me? He's only up the road. And he said, I've got the chair, but I've just met the granddaughter of the lady who had it, who's the most gorgeous little girl. She's called Chloe, but known as Coco. And if it's a girl, can we call her Coco? And I said yes. So that's it. Her middle names are Isabella Amelia. So she's got options if she doesn't like it, and she loves it, and it really suits her. The next question is, how do you stay so organised and on top of everything? Animals, children, garden, home, etc. Do you plan out your days, your weeks, or wake up and decide what needs tackling? Yes, I plan it out. I am not planning as much during lockdown as I would normally. Normally I would be writing loads of lists. We're going with the flow a little bit more because I think at the moment we have to, but the day before I know pretty much exactly what I need to be doing that day, and I find it really helpful. I used to wing it, and that's when I ended up getting shouty and stressed and things would go wrong. So I know exactly what I have to do, and I do have time slots of, right, I've got an hour to do that in, and I tend to get it done if I focus in time slots. So my time in my head, my day in my head is focused, what am I saying? It's split up into time slots. That is what I'm trying to say. So I know that that's going to be done, that's going to be done, that's when I'm doing some cleaning, that's when I'm doing the ponies. And so I do have a routine and a plan, and I find that works so much better for us. How do you fit in ponies, dog management around the kids in the house, and what is your routine? So again, I do plan, you know, what I've just said, I do plan in advance. I get up at 6 and I do my workout. I then go and wake the children, make sure Si's up at 7. I then pop up, or Si will go and do the animals. Then we'll all have breakfast together. I'll jump in the shower. Si will have had a shower normally before breakfast. Vice versa. It just slightly depends on the day and what's happening. I then get myself ready. We do our school day. We have lunch at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Then I'll either be doing some cleaning, the children are playing or doing whatever. This is very much in lockdown. And at the moment, we are having afternoon tea at 4 o'clock, which is just wonderful. And then we go out for a ride, a dog walk, and I do the ponies, come in and start cooking supper at about 6:30. We all eat together in the evening. The children then go up and have a bath at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and they're in bed by 8:30, reading quietly. Gussie was going to bed slightly earlier when he was going to school, but actually it's working quite well at the moment. I then clear up supper, do all of those things, and then tackle the laundry and watch TV while I'm ironing, and tend to go to bed at about 10:30. So that's what my day looks like. Oh, I love this one. What is the best mop? So I have one of these. It's not the cleanest mop head, sorry, I've just shoved that in the camera lens. And a Valida mop bucket. This is great, and it spins, so you don't have a really wet one. And I find those ones that are kind of flat and you push just don't work very well. I'm not a massive mop fan, if I'm honest. I mean, I love this one, and it's great for the kitchen floor, but actually I tend to squat down and wash the floors by hand, which may seem bonkers, but actually I think it does a better job. And we've got quite a lot of small-ish stone floors in bathrooms and laundry room stuff, so I do those by hand. How many hours of screen time a day during lockdown do your children have? So I am pretty strict actually on screen time. They don't have Xboxes, they don't have Nintendos, they don't have any of those things. They have one iPad that they share. Archie now does have a laptop which he uses for his schoolwork, and Coco does have a Kindle because she's an avid reader. I am trying to restrict them to 1 hour in the afternoon because they're having screen time with their lessons in the morning, so it was causing headaches and having any more, and I want them to play. And luckily, because I've got 3 so close in age, they do play really well together, so I'm limiting that. Weekends are having a little bit more, probably about 2 to 2.5 hours, because they're chatting to their friends, so I think that is important, that they have time chatting to them. Please could you suggest a foolproof boot / storage system for our boot room, drowning in wellies, boots and chaps. I know the feeling. We don't have a separate boot room. I would love one. I've got a spot just there where I want to build one, but it's a pipe dream. Anyway, in our laundry room, I've got pigeonholes. All the children's riding boots, dirty trainers and things like that, and their shoes go in the pigeonholes in there. Welly boots, we've got a porch at the front of the house, and I've got 2 welly boot racks where they go upside down. So all wellies are outside, and jobber boots and trainers and shoes go in the laundry room. School shoes and things like that. I've actually got an old bookcase which is under our coat rack in the hall, and that works really well for shoes. And then chaps I hang on hooks in the laundry room, and that works really well as well. So hopefully that's helpful. I really dream of a lovely boot room one day. And then the final question, which I love, is what makes you feel fulfilled? When I walk upstairs at night to go to bed and I know that the children are happy, that they've eaten well, they have had a bath, they're clean, they're tucked up in their beds and they're fast asleep, and I go and poke my head into their rooms, and that is what makes me feel fulfilled and incredibly blessed and lucky. So thank you for all your questions, and thank you for tuning in, and I hope you all have a really, really lovely weekend.